Hello everyone and welcome back to the rainbow colored nightmare of the Brightworks. Today we're taking a look at an absolute travesty of a match. Today, taking up the entire right hand side of your screen, 60 players are going to be duking it out on one of my favorite maps of all time. Failed Negotiations version 1.0. It's a map that I play all the time on stream whenever I get a chance because it's got all sort of lanes for a whole bunch of players to play, and today we're pushing it to the limit. So this match was indeed played from the Beyond All Reason 30k Discord subscribers event, or 30k members. I guess Discord doesn't really have subscribers. Anywho, the community was celebrating hitting 30,000 members joining their Discord. No reason for you not to if you haven't already, but they were doing a whole bunch of games with 30 players per team, 60 players in total, and you can just see what an absolute mess it causes over here on the right hand side of your screen. So leading this gargantuan team of blue comrades, it's going to be a co-op, my Janice, coming in with 40, is it 46? Hard to even see up there in the top right hand corner. All the names are reduced, all the medal incomes are reduced. Look at this rainbow flag up here in the top right hand corner showing off all the colors for everybody on both of these teams. Absolutely ridiculous. Because there's so many commanders, there's actually so much more metal coming back. Remember, each of these commanders generates 2 metal per second, and that's going to be a solid 60 extra metal per second coming back to each team right there. Absolutely ridiculous. Co-op my Jan is going to be representing the blue team here, and it looks like it's going to be Andre right up here on the front lines representing the red. Well, contesting this 4.8 metal extractor right here, going up against random variable, trying to build an economy and a forward factory, all sorts of good stuff right here. This is going to be a tricky one. I sure hope you all bear along with me as I try and figure out how on earth to commentate a match of this scale, this caliber. What a mess. We've got players all over the place. We'll just kind of meet them as we see them. Jean Doe going to be spawning on the front lines right here, but going into a naval lab, and I guess I don't mind it because you're going to have those naval units going up against potentially land-based units. There is a coastal torpedo launcher here, technically a coastal depth charge launcher, but we won't get too tied up in the semantics. We also have a naval lab up here for I Like Asians. Gonna be going into some of those Armada ships. Very nice. Yeah, we have a LSAW almost completed right there, rolling its way out of the naval lab here. Destro also likewise going into these. So one of the interesting things about these 30v30 matches, or really any of these matches that are tuned up to 11, tuned up to 30, I guess, really. One of the things about them is that each individual player gets way less metal extractors, right? So if you're lucky in the backline, you might get 3, maybe 4 metal extractors. For the most part, though, everybody gets like 1 or 2. And it pretty much depends on where you spawn. Some players might not get any metal extractors. Like, for instance, Night Shadow here. You can see you got 1 metal extractor. It's not tremendous. And it does mean you have to think a little bit more about growing your economy from the bottom up, right? Starting those tidal generators, starting those wind turbines, starting the energy converters. You have to really worry about that a whole lot more, individually at the very least, in this sort of a game. I wonder if we have Legion enabled for this, by the way. It doesn't look like. I don't spy any Legion commanders, and I feel like I certainly would have by now. Anyways, back on here, I'm surprised we haven't gone for T2 yet. Usually co-oping a T2 is the right idea here. Yeah, the red team's got the right idea. We're going to start boosting up a T2. Indeed, we have T2 technology coming up and running right now. If we get these T2 moving around here and upgrading all the metal extractors, this could be really, really nice. 3 minutes into the game and we're completing our T2 constructors here. Not even the T2 lab, but the actual T2 constructor itself. Co-op my Janice, trying to, or co-op my Janice, trying to hold the lines right here. Apparently no dash character is allowed in the names. I don't want to lose those Janices, though. Living up to the name and going heavy into Janice production, you definitely don't want to lose them. Those are expensive heavy rocket tanks. Heavy light rocket tanks. Yeah, every time they collide with something, they manage to get a kill. Especially now that there's 2 of them firing. Zeron actually gonna have to be a little bit careful here. It's 3 Janice. It'll only take 2 volleys from this little grouping here to take down a commander. Oh, nice deacon right there. Yeah, Lich 1584 manages to take down the lab as well as the light laser tower here, meaning Akumu is in quite a bit of trouble. Andre in a little bit of trouble here too. Yeah, the aggravators are pushing forward. They're going to start blasting away at this vehicle bay. Massive commander trade over here. Commander for the blue and commander for the red, both of which going down right here. On the front lines, not surprising whatsoever. All over the map, we do have aggression, though. Looks like, interestingly, Curled Moss has gone for some LLTs and some anti-air all over here, starting up a little insurrection to try and overwhelm the base over on this side. I'd love to see an LLT up on this little hill right here. It could blast away at the geothermal as well as obviously this radar station. Pretty interesting. There's nothing to actually hit this commander if it dives into the water right now, so I'd love to see maybe a submarine or two pumped out here, so at the very least we could do something about any commanders. Looks like a commander will be sacrificed over here to go for a T2 lab. Not bad, not bad. We are starting up a T2 lab. It's just a single commander though. Looks like it's CNC player going to be going for that T2 lab. Surprising. I'm surprised Theo and Scopa didn't all co-op a T2 right now. Definitely the propagation of T2 is going to be coming up a whole lot quicker for the red team here. You can see already we've got some of those T2 metal extractors started up and building. We've already got 3 up for Greco Barato. That's 4x the metal income, so 8.3 times 3. Pretty good amount of metal going back. Caught My Janus did manage to reclaim a whole bunch of the metal right here, as well as who owns these right here. Lich 1584 manages to eat up a whole bunch of that as well with some of these res bots, and this center island is well under the control now of the blue team. Very good to see. Meanwhile, aggression over here, as it looks like some units push forward. Dark Knight 2277 going to be trying to push back the forces over on this side. Actually doing a good job, yeah, pushing the blue team back up to this hillside. We do have Curled Moss blasting away at some of these ships. There's a single submarine out now. It's going to take a minute before that submarine can kill this commander, but it will do it. About 10%, 9%-ish, more or less, per torpedo that it launches at those commanders. Makes it quite good at sniping commanders, but you definitely need quite a few of them. At least to make it efficient anyways. T2 is up. Payment is received. Teamwork is well in play. So I like the position here a whole lot better, obviously, for the red team. The fact that they're going up to T2 right now means that their economy can start that chain reaction spiral, that sort of exponential growth as we start to see aphises and energy converters and all that sort of stuff. It can start doing that a whole lot quicker here. If we so choose, essentially with this many bodies in the front line here, you really can just do whatever you please. The blue team is keeping up right here because of those early game trades. They're grabbing these commanders right here and managing to eat up all that metal, is recuperating the costs that the growing economy right now for the red team essentially provided, the advantage that is. Baba Kai, just building tidal generators. Do we even have any units here? I don't think so. You know, it's fair, right? Like, there's 30 people. You might as well just have some people that just build economy all game and just share a whole bunch of metal and energy and whatnot to everybody else. Just set their sliders to overflow and use as little resources as they can. Submarine's gonna have a field day here, blasting away at all this. But the Elsa and the Skate are not gonna be so fortunate on the right-hand side. T1 gunships coming out here as well. A couple of Banshee, blasting away at whatever they can. They do find Tartruzine's commander over here. Fighters are pulled, though. And those fighters will clean those Banshees up quite nicely. Yeah, Banshee's paper thin. They don't have much armor on them. But my Janus starts up an aggressive LLT up here. No metal to the blue commander's name. He's going to have a little bit of trouble building this LLT right here, but if we see maybe a slight metal donation, wouldn't be the end of the world. This LLT going to be able to blast away at some of these wind turbines over here. Maybe could get a constructor or two as well. I'm going to find the brown base right here of Ronin. I have to select and then look at this corner. No way I'm going to be able to guess these names just looking at the color. There's so many colors and they're all so similar. One of the fun things about these 30v30s, I suppose. we get such a wide diversity of colors here. Every single color gets some representation here. Even a little bit of overlap, right? You can see there's some green players on the red team, and you know, some pink and brownish players on the blue team here. Can be very confusing if those colors end up going up against each other. Luckily for us, it looks like it's going to be mostly naval play here from Toasty Bread, who is the brown commander with a white highlight right here. Commander Snipe over here as well. Yeah, the Janus is putting in some work. There's a triple silver star lasher over here, or whistler rather. Self-destruct is called. I think it's a little too late though. That lab will go down. Now we're actually rezzing the commanders over here. That's quite cheeky. I don't mind it, actually. I think rezzing the commanders is not that bad. You res those commanders, and of course you can just send them in as a walking thermonuclear bomb. Always a pretty cheeky strategy. Yeah, we start up the APHIS immediately back here. Just gonna go ahead and go straight into technology, not spending any amount of time going into anything else, just going straight up directly into the tech. Ooh, causing a lot of friendly fire right there. Those ticks actually doing a great job of getting those Janices to fire on their commander. That could have been bad. Called my Janus, definitely risking it all right there. Missile ships over here blasting away at a lot of these torpedo launchers. Love to see it. They're a very cheap solution to those torpedo launchers. Not a quick solution, but a cheap solution. That's what you're looking for in the early game. Cost efficiency. Destro's Navy is looking fabulous, though. Yeah, this is a massive blue Navy for at the very least T1 era. Yeah, there's anti-air boats here as well, so these Banshee are not going to have that much of an issue. Oh, except I'm reading this incorrectly. Those are friendly Banshees. Yeah, Destro actually receiving air support here. There's no anti-air available right here for the Pink Commander, so it looks like those Banshee might actually be able to find something. A little bit of value here and there. Caught my Janus on an absolute tear, though. My goodness, these Janus have done some work. One fires its volley before getting obliterated here. Caught my Janus getting surrounded by a whole bunch of ticks. It's very awkward. Commander has to watch its step and be careful where it plants its feet. Those ticks can definitely do more damage than you bargained for, though. They're tricky little SOBs. Rocketeers firing away over here. I think we have enough Rocketeers. Oh, they're friendly firing like crazy right now. But we do have enough to push back these forces over here because, of course, the reinforcements for Ronin are now being cut off as the base has been essentially obliterated by the run-by tanks right here from Kawamai Janus. Kawamai Janus is doing a fabulous job of using the metal that's reclaimed from the front lines here. And, yeah, actually managing to extract all of it. Extracting all of it, turning it into metal on the front lines, damaging the enemies. We have a res sub over here for Necromancer. That feels on par. Feels appropriate. So this push through the middle of the map has been gargantuan. We need to see a T2 constructor moving up to claim these 4.8s, though. We get those upgraded to a 4X Tier 2 metal extractor. Yeah, that'll start looking really nice. A little bit of scribbling over here, a little bit of APM overflow. Very nice. Taking some time to appreciate the arts. It's good, you know, if you're gonna be a warrior, you might as well also be an artist. What's that saying about warriors and gardens? I'm sure you know the one. Caught my Janus being pushed back here. Yeah, I think enough reinforcements have been routed. Tech's not gonna be able to transgress on the water over here, so at the very least those slippery sons of guns are gonna be pushed back for the time being, but at least for right now. Yeah, I think Kawamai Janus is not in a terrible position right here, but it's about time to start looking for some T2. A nuclear launcher has been queued, and we've got the missile building. We have an anti-nuke that is built and charging right now. How close are we? We're about halfway on the missile. Okay, I think this anti-nuke might be finished just about in the nick of time right here. APHIS did come up, by the way, so that's a tremendous amount of power going back to the yellow commander here, who is using it to produce ticks, of all things. I feel like just going for a whole bunch of economy at this point probably wouldn't be the end of the world. Judon and random variable pushing forward right here. Nice D-guns, though. Catch all those welders. That's an expensive army to lose right there. Those welders going down definitely hurts. Those were the pride and joy of the Pink Commander, Pavilon? I want to say Pavilion, but I think it's Pavilon. What a mess. Torpedo bombers also causing some trouble here. Yeah, Commander Snipe, sure. That's a great use of those torpedo bombers, actually. One of their strengths, of course, is that they drop their missiles and then they can retreat back. They don't have to guide them. Where are we targeting? Nuke is ready. Oh, where are we firing it? Ooh, directly into the back line. Anti-nuke is charged by now. Yep. Very nicely done by the yellow commander helicopter. Realizes, hey, wait a second, if there's one thing that the enemy is likely to go for, it's probably going to be a nuclear assault here. And indeed, manages to get an anti-nuke out, covering the very vulnerable, very squishy eco centers for the red team. Very nicely done. That nuke will be nullified, and because the nuke has been shown, it does mean, of course, that everybody is going to be prompted to go for their anti-nukes. There we go. We see one start up right here immediately. We should probably see one starting up over here on the tan side as well, and maybe another one starting up somewhere over here just as well. T2 labs are up and running as well in the seas, so I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw a anti-nuke or 2 or 3 out in the waters as well. This blue army is keeping pushing forward, though. Yeah, I mean, this is a solid push right here. We do have a pulsar out on the shoreline here. I actually really like this pulsar. This is really nicely positioned. Yeah, I can fire away at a lot of the boats that get too close. I'd love to see... Oh, we do have another one coming up. Yeah, very good. Yeah, these pulsars are actually really, really annoying to deal with. One of the better coast to sea defenses, just because of the fact that, of course, you can fire them away for such long range. You forgot my T2. Yeah, it was bound to happen. Somehow I'm not surprised that a T2 was forgotten here and there. 400 people in a match, and I'm frankly surprised the T2 has been propagated as well as it has. We do have T2 metal extractors up and running for basically everybody here. Yeah, we have T2 coming up right now as well for Ronan, who is off of a single metal extractor on the front lines right here. Second APHIS is already up, going for a third. We're going for some build power before the third APHIS. Gonna be building some more energy converters first and foremost, though. Ratio is roughly 4 energy converters to the APHIS. You can technically go for 5 if you just want it for eco, but usually you want a little bit of energy for actually producing units, so 4 tends to work out pretty good. That does not include any wind turbines or whatnot, overflow, all that sort of stuff, though, so you might need more than that in case in point here, as we see. We've got 6 here right now, so we're going up to, well, 12, 13, 14, 15-ish. Very nice. Nuke is up. And it's headed across the map. I believe Ronan is the target. Directly into the backline right there. Boom goes the base for Ronan, as well as the dark purple commander over here. I'm not sure even who that was, but they've been obliterated. Reduced to ashes. It's this color right here. It might have been Hatgear. No, it wasn't Hatgear. Hatgear's base is over here. I see them queuing stuff up, but I have no idea where from. Oh, over here? Is it you? Yes, it's Mania Machiavellismus. Very good. Oh, what a mess. What a beautiful, beautiful mess. Are we up to T2 yet? We're working on it. Yeah, we've got T2 coming up right now for the naval sector here, slowly but steadily. Yeah, 19 metal per second, more or less, depending on reclaim. Yeesh. It's very slow. I think all the, yeah, I think all the naval players would do well to work together here and build a T2 lab. We already have a T2 up and running here for Myrmidon? Yeah, Myrmidon. I wanted to say Myrmidon for some reason. I think it's a dinosaur. Wow, is that pulling from my ARC repertoire? My years and years in service to ARC Survival Evolved, I guess, paying off here as I recollect bizarre and random dinosaur names from the back of my rather smooth skull. Just south of the base we were looking at here. A nuke just barely hits the base over here. Stone Age calls out one of the players here. Very nicely put. Yeah, the anti-nuke fired, but it was just a little bit too slow to shut that down. You can see it trailing behind and then colliding over here. If you rewind just a second. The, yeah, nuke does actually take out a huge base over on this side. That's very nice. Any base you can snipe at this point is quite nice. But, of course, you know, taking out bases that open up attack lines are going to be even that much more important. Sharpshooters blasting away over here. I don't think they're really the ideal solution to this spam that's coming out right now. It's big T2 counter push, though. Yeah, call it my Janus has already been knocked out. Another nuke is launched. Where are we sending this one? We go across the map to the right. Yeah, there we go. Looks like we're going all the way into the back line here. Boom goes the backline. Aggressa loses the T2 constructor. A bunch of wind turbines chain react over here for hexadecimal as well. Very nicely done. Yeah, I'm really surprised that we didn't have anti-nukes come up immediately for every player as soon as the first anti-nuke comes up. I guess that's not too surprising though. A lot of the times it's easy to forget about that sort of thing. I should certainly know. As an infamously bad, an infamously good example of someone who forgets to build their anti-nuke almost every game. It's, yeah, it's oftentimes... Well, I think it's easy to forget anyways. Maybe that's just me, though. Kobold's still in a lot of trouble here. Hound's actually firing away. Big EMP bombing, though. Yeah, that's a nice EMP catch right there as well. Managed to shut down all the Sheldon over here. Really, really nicely done. Those EMP bombers allow for an extremely efficient trade right here. We've switched into rover production. Oh, another nuke is up in the air. All right, not bad. We're nuke in the middle of the map. There's still some vulnerable targets right here on the red team, the red side of the map over here. We just don't have any scouting of it, I'm guessing. The EMP bombers, I was saying, allow for an extremely efficient trade, even T1 against T2, so that's always good to see. Wow, massive counterattack over here. How on earth did we throw this advantage? The blue team pushed all the way forward here and apparently lost all control of that area and is now being pushed back on the high seas. Destroyer's looking real low. Yeah, 6%, 18%, 22%. Getting real low on those ships here. We started up a T2 lab and we were so damn close to finishing it, but we just didn't have it up in time. Unit production just wasn't started up at the right time. I see what happened. Okay, so we went for T2 all at the same time, while our enemy went for just straight up units. And now we're suddenly feeling the sting. Oh, T2 lab getting real low. We need to reclaim it, not have it destroyed. Okay, we do manage to reclaim all that metal, so at the very least it's going to go back to the team. Mostly into our pockets, and some of it back to the team here as we overflow. Not the end of the world here. Repair on these ships, definitely good. Gonna keep a lot of these destroyers more in the fight than they otherwise would. Ooh, one of them goes down still, though. Easy to overestimate the repair power there, right? T2 is up for Necromancer, though, so at the very least we're gonna have some of those T2 boats hitting the battlefield eventually. Surprisingly even game. Usually one team masses a tremendous advantage and then the other team swoops in and takes it, or rather the other players on that team swoop in to take advantage of it. Not so here. Oh, sharpshooters get caught without welders to support. Oh no. The humble tick doing its duty and obliterating these sharpshooters. That's why you always need welders in front of your sharpshooters. 6 or 7 welders shuts down this many ticks fairly efficiently. Submarines shutting down whenever they can over here. There's advanced metal extractors, so that would be quite nice to pick off. Do we have any res subs available? We're working on one. We just need some more build power here, actually. Yeah, we're having a build power shortage. We do have a T2 constructor here as well, so we could go for torpedo launchers. That's often a really easy way to stabilize an area, is just go for some torpedo launchers, and until they basically get a capital ship out, it's going to be really hard for them to do anything about it. I spy with my little eye the first T3 unit of the game. The Razorback. Featuring Dancing Commander. Hold on. Just gotta... Down to Boogie. Yellow Commander there. Razorback standing strong over here as a scout plane flies over. Not bad. Oracle trying to get some vision of what exactly is going on over here. Having a tricky time, though. Another nuke in the air. Surprised we don't have total anti-nuke coverage at this point. Oh no. Dark Knight smells it. Boom goes the base. Another massive nuclear connection over here as Dark Knight is sent once again back to the Stone Age. Beautifully, beautifully done. Build some mobile anti-nukes. Just somebody with a T2 lab, start pumping out those mobile anti-nukes and put them absolutely everywhere. Usually the right idea there. Submarine firing away to Buccaneer. That's not supposed to happen. Buccaneer is the submarine clearer. A lot of fighters over here. I think these are blue fighters. Yeah, they're not engaging with these other fighters. These are blue fighters. They're for Megax 780, who is a more red color than anything else here. A little bit of a turncoat, you could say. Wow, a whole bunch of these have been built very nicely. Oh, that's actually really cute. We built a whole bunch of these LRPCs, but we didn't fire them until we had 4 of them up and running right here. Oh, that's so beautifully done. That's really, really cheeky. Yeah, so what we did right there is we held the firing so that until all 4 of them were up and running, they wouldn't fire. That way, when they all fire, there was no time to build shields right here. Oh, that is just beautiful. Excellently played right there. What a massive move by the Yellow Commander. Really, really nicely done. Who is that? Is that Helicopter? Yeah, that's Helicopter. What a beautiful play right there. I love that. That's so cheeky, but that's a really, really cool strat. Going for some of these Basilica over here. Just trying to fire away with them, but avoiding the detection of the enemy. Managing to pop 4 Aphises over here. Such a tremendous amount of damage. What's the total metal cost of all this? 18,000 for 4 Aphises, so essentially double the value right there. Beautiful. Submarines being targeted down by torpedo bombers. Big air pull though. Yeah, all the fighters come across. There's tons and tons of flak and light anti-air, all sorts of anti-air all over the place. We have bombers coming in. These aren't enemy bombers, right? No, these are blue team bombers. They were headed towards the back line. I was a little worried there. There we go. Yeah, there's some bombers. Looking for whatever soft targets they can find. Aphis over here, just about the softest target there is. There we go. Another beautiful run right there. Taking out the entire eastern side of the blue team right now. Beautifully, beautifully done. Yeah, those LRPCs were absolutely instrumental here. I wouldn't even mind seeing these disassembled and just turned into T3 production or something like that, because at this point, there's not a whole lot they can do. Well, you know, I say that. There is still a base over here that they can obliterate. There's also this front line that they can fire at. Maybe undervaluing the LRPCs a little bit here. Big Marauder run by on the left-hand, or the right-hand side, pardon me. I like Asians trying to hold the line right here. Does go down, though. No cloak on that commander, and indeed, this base is a forfeit. Those Marauder are nice and balled up. An EMP bomber or two could absolutely shut this down, but that is not the case here as the windmills chain react, the energy converters pop, and those Marauders split up to try and do maximum damage over here on the southern side of the blue team's land-based fortifications. I fear for the worst for the blue team here. Nuclear launcher is targeted as well. There's also anti-nukes that are very vulnerable. Yeah, those anti-nukes go down and suddenly you're prone to nuclear assault here. The red team hasn't invested very heavily into nuclear weapons, but they certainly should. At this point, any opportunity to get a nuke across the map should be well valued. So much damage right now from these Marauders. Nuke is up in the air. Where are we headed? Oh, anti-nuke will get it. There we go. EMP bombers finally address all these Marauder over here. A little bit too little too late. Oh my goodness. 0% remaining. There we go. Aphises finally do pop here. Marauder's going to be brought down by Fiends and Grunts and just about everything else in the Cortex book. I think eventually these will be cleaned up quite nicely, but for the time being, a tremendous run by right there. Taking out 1, 2, and almost 3 bases right there. Taking down the res bots anyway, which we're trying to rebuild the base here for GPG. Very nice little Marauder run by over here. Love to see it. The red team definitely getting aggressive right now, using their fighters to blow up bases, using their Marauders to blow up bases, using the LRPCs to target specific structures. Yeah, the red team definitely just has a plan. That's my new favorite saying. Quoting the famous Dutch van der Land. I have a plan. It involves Marauders right here for Comrade Carl. Another nuke intercepted, by the way, by the anti-nuke. Looks like we finally built a robust enough anti-nuke field to prevent nuclear strike for the most part across on the red side. There's still a couple vulnerable areas around over here, but for the most part, I would say that this is probably well dealt with. So many pawns moving forward. My goodness. All that T3, and where did it lead? Where did it lead you? It's actually a pretty awesome graphic right there. Ooh, nuclear bomb. Takes out the entire force of pawns right there. That was satisfying as well. Razorbacks marching forward in tandem. Gonna blast through this T1 relatively easily. I talked about this in just the last video, but this is not exactly the ideal job for the Razorback. Blasting through static defense is not exactly their forte. They're gonna have a fine time because this is all just T1. But usually you prefer to have Razorbacks going up against units, specifically T1 units, if at all possible. EMP bombers much quicker on the draw right here for the red team. Nice response. Yeah, paralyzing these allows you to get units into position, and that's one of the hardest things about dealing with Marauder, is just that they're so fast that it's hard to catch them with basically anything. Oh, nuclear bomber up in the air too. Those Marauder do have a light anti-air, so you have to be a little bit careful about that, but I think these nuclear bombers are going to be more than sturdy enough to take out as many of these Marauder as necessary. I think this should be deflected quite nicely here. Torpedo bombers doing some excellent work though, blasting down these submarines and whatnot over on this side of the map. Oh, these Marauder are slipping through. Uh-oh. At some point, you just want to fight command your EMP bombers. It becomes too APM intensive to try and micro all of them. Eldred dude doing a great job. Eldritch Horrors is what I was thinking of, I suppose. Orange Commander going to be getting down a whole bunch of those Marauder. That's all I'm trying to say. Very nicely done. The economy on the side of the red team is looking far more menacing right now than the economy on the blue. It's only a 300 or 400 metal difference, but that can make a huge impact over the course of a couple of minutes. Yeah, we have mass wind turbine, but all that could have been aphises here. The eco scaling is just definitely not looking as good as it was. Part of that, of course, is because all these aphises went down on the right-hand side. That was about half the economy right here for the blue team. There's some eco in the back line at the very least for Comrade Carl. So we will see Razorbacks coming up eventually. Nuclear bombers coming up though. They will be shot down before they manage to find anything. Well, okay, one of them just barely manages to fall to its doom right here on top of a lot of those E-converters, popping some advanced solar panels. It's not a tremendous amount of damage. It's not the most damage that those bombers can do, but it's certainly something. It's a start. The Dragon, impervious to flak. Gonna be more than happy to just hang out around here, burning down whatever it can find, blasting away with those heavy lasers mounted on its udders. There we go. 2 flak trucks probably gonna be enough to push this Dragon back. It will retreat and go get repaired back up, and we do have some torpedo gunship coming up to replace it. Torpedo gunship much more susceptible to flak fire, though. Yeah, those will go down a whole lot quicker. Cool. See instantaneously. Yeah, suddenly this is actually a nice naval push over here. Excellent recovery on the right-hand side. Very nice recovery. Another big Marauder run by. Where were those Razorbacks at? I saw them in production over here. Are they struggling to get to the front lines? It could very well be the case. Either way, these Marauder are getting into the back line. We do have those seaplane gunships up in the air. Those are actually doing quite a lot of work here, shutting down as many of these Marauder as possible. The wind turbine's also clogging up the middle of the map right here. I think we're about to have a lot of freed space for the blue team. For the blue team. For the green players on the blue team right here. I suspect that in no time at all, we're about to see a whole lot of windmills chain reacting. Well, maybe not. Wind turbine's just spaced out just barely enough to avoid the chain reaction here, and the Razorbacks do come down just in time to clean all that up, so that's quite nice. This kind of cobalt-colored blue coming out to save the day right here. Comrade Carl. More and more T3 coming across the map right now, though. Every bit of T3 that comes across the map is doing a little bit of damage. It's slowly whittling down the blue team here. I think the best option would be to wipe out everything over here on the right-hand side. Just make sure that we've well and thoroughly cleared out this right-hand side, and that opens a tremendous attack path. You can push forward with units from this angle. You can push forward with units from this angle. Well, I guess that's kind of a cliff, so you can't really push forward right there. But you know, you can push down in this direction, or you can push around in this direction. Through over here, and then through the back line as well. There's a lot of opportunities if you open up this right-hand side, and for all intents and purposes, it is pretty much open. Judon being essentially the very last remnant of any stability over here on that side. Razorbacks having a field day blasting away at their relatives over on the red side. Pawns, though, the real stars of the zero. Yeah, just gumming up the internals of the green machine right here. Oh, beautiful aggression over here, as well as the yellow Razorbacks, pardon me, do manage to take out the entire base over there on the left-hand side. Razorbacks pop a commander over on the southern side. Beautiful, beautiful aggression. Love to see it. This is a little bit of a counterattack here. We do have the Razorbacks pushing forward at this point. Oh, these are doing so much damage. Danny Farthead does go down. Razorbacks still not dealt with over here. Taking an advanced metal extractor, sure, why not? I think the T2 stuff is going to be well worth it. Let's try and pop down on this side. So much damage over here. Massive bomber wave headed out. There's no fighter support whatsoever. We have fighters, but they're not pulled. They're all dispersed across the many players here. Oh, those SAM turrets firing away. Ah, blasting down so many of these bombers. Oh no. Yeah, those SAM turrets did so much work right there. The bombers were too clumped up. Bombers were too clumped up, and it meant that those SAM turrets had a field day blasting down all those. Torpedo gunship's not going to have much effect against the Razorbacks, unfortunately. And now the pawns come streaming across the map right now, careening at full speed into the face of the blue team. We need a big money play right now if we want to come back into this game. Looks like this navy was lost over here for the blue team and got resurrected, reclaimed, and otherwise rebuilt and turned into a red navy. So that's quite nice. Not an old navy, just a red navy. Nuclear connection in the middle of the map wipes out a whole bunch of pawns. Maybe not the most valuable nuclear connection available, but certainly a nuclear connection. Pretty at the very least. Razorbacks do blast down their sibling. Their Razorback from another Razor pack. Commander goes down over here, wipes out a whole bunch of those static defenses. Sharpshooters even included here. I quite like it. Yeah, those T2 sharpshooters can certainly do some work here. At this point, we've got enough production to go for basically anything. We can go for T2, we can go for T3, we can go for basically all you want. And then some more. Huge bomber wave coming across the map here. Fighters are pulled and jump on top of all these immediately, but that is so many bombers. We have more bombers than fighters right here. There we go. The T1 fighters are going to get involved here as well, blasting apart some of those bombers. I think there's enough fighter power here to eventually shut down all of those T2 blizzards right here. Oh man, that's a little scary, seeing how much bomber power your enemy has. Cartrazine says, keep me out of this. I don't think you can. I don't think anyone's innocent in this 30v30 war. What are we bombing? I suppose these palm trees had it coming. Down they go. This is just beautiful. It's like a scene out of World War Z, with the gunships firing away at everything on the low ground. This might be the best encapsulation of T3 there is. Just pawns streaming forward at a never-ending rate. Marauders running by on the left-hand side. Dragons blasting apart wherever they can. Razorbacks trying to shoot down any of those heavier units that they can find. Beautiful. Yeah, the Navy of the blue team is cooked over here. That is a lot of paladins pushing forward right now, and there's absolutely nothing that they are going to be able to do against 3 of these dreadnought battleships now in the backline. More than happy to take your base and turn it into a nice little pile of rubble. Capital ship is out, so at the very least that's nice to have blasting away over here. And it does pack quite a wall up these days. Little more than a glorified tremor. So much damage on the left side of the map, though. So many players knocked out for the blue team. Oh, I missed something over here. I'm not sure I want to rewind through 35 minutes of this match, so we'll just call it a snipe over here, apparently. Commander goes down. Aphis goes down. All said and done, I don't think it'll make all too much of a difference over here. Wow, this capital ship has absolutely cleaned house. Capital ships definitely looking a whole hell of a lot better than they used to. For the metal you invest in one of those, I'm certainly glad to see it. We had to speed bump our teammate a little bit, but I think it might be worth it because those capital ships are out now, and they're going to be doing some devastating work across the field. Bombers coming out. We've shown our hand with the fighters way too early, and now the bombers are going to be targeted by the fighters. Excellent pull right here. Yeah, you're not supposed to go after the fighters. They're not really the problem. The bombers are the problem. Excellently done right there. Cleaning up all those bombers that were coming across the map. Nuclear connection over here. Surprisingly, this line is held. The base popped, but the line is held for now. Yeah, Sheldon doing their very best. They don't have any radar or recon support, any spy bots, anything like that, any reporting. So they're mostly just firing at will. Yeah, I mean, they're doing a decent enough job. It's one of those weird things that the Sheldon can do. They can sort of be a support unit. They can sort of be a assault unit. They're a strange type of unit. We'll love to see some repairs on this Black Hydra. Absolutely instrumental in holding this line right here is this Black Hydra, so we need to keep it alive. Either some engineers, some T2 naval engineers, or maybe get a couple of those res subs right here that are already working on resurrecting a whole lot of this field. Try and patch up this Black Hydra as much as possible. How does the red team clutch defeat from the jaws of victory here? It would take something immense. We've already popped a big portion of the defenses over here, but there's still a lot of these anti-air turrets. There's still a lot of fighters. It'd be really hard to sneak more bombers in from this direction, but maybe a bunch of marauders could run by. Yeah, actually the anti-ground defenses are not staggering over on the right-hand side. We have a lot of anti-air defense, but basically no anti-ground defense. 10 or so marauders might be able to punch through that and actually do a whole bunch of damage. Not gonna matter though. Ragnarok has come up and is firing directly into the back line. Ooh, that starts to burn. Yeah, Comrade Carl, the main target right here is that Ragnarok starts to fire away. Those Aphises will soon be forfeit. Boom goes the base back here, taking out all of the Cobalt Blue Commander's base, as well as chain reacting to the build power over here for autism awareness. Lovely. Very nice play. Ragnarok definitely getting immense value right there. We'd love to see it continue firing. There we go. Yeah, we're retargeting around the map. We're definitely not going to leave this super cannon idle. It is not firing, however, because it's targeted outside of its range. We need to move it back a step or two. This is absolutely triggered an all-in right here, as all of the forces from Comrade Carl will be pulled. Razorbacks marching forward into that T2 static defense, and in a tale as old as time, being obliterated by the Pitbull. A lot of Razorbacks on this side, though. If only we had sent these Razorbacks around the right-hand side, I think this would have been way, way easier to push through. T2 wall's actually keeping that metal extractor safe. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, there's just so much defense available here. Bombers. There we go. Bombers taking down the Thor. Sure. Fighters are pulled. So at the very least, those bombers will pay for that with their lives. Not gonna matter, though. Base explodes on the backside over here. Aphises go up in smoke. All the fighters that once were go down over here as the defending fighters come up. Nukes launched across the map over here. Looks like we're trying to overwhelm an anti-nuke that doesn't exist. Beautiful. Beautiful thermonuclear explosion. There we go. Ragnarok now reaching into the backline here and hitting these Aphises. Doing about, I don't know, 15, maybe 10% damage per shot. Yeah, about 10% damage per shot that connects with each of these Aphises. Not bad. It'll only take about one more. Oh, there we go. Beautiful chain reaction. Takes out all of those Aphises as well that were handed around the blue team. But eventually it will not matter as they all are reduced to atoms in their own thermonuclear explosions. More Marauders coming across the map here, but I think the blue team is just about cooked. 2.6 thousand metal up against just about 700. Not looking good here at all for the blue team. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here. Pardon my frames as we see these Marauder come across the map right here. The depth charge launching... Yeah, depth charge launching Lunkhead's actually going to be decent for, at the very least, softening up a lot of these Marauder here. Not going to be able to kill a whole lot of them. Test Link trying to get the commander into position here. Actually, it's a great opportunity to D-gun. Yeah, as they're coming out of the water. Oh, beautiful D-guns right there. Massive D-guns. Actually shut down so many of those Marauders. Really nicely done. Commander eventually perishes, though, and indeed, it's the red team that manages to win this game with just an overwhelming amount of aggression right here against the blue. What a beautiful, beautiful match. Absolutely love these 30-player, well, 60-player, 30v30 mayhem matches. What an absolute treat. Thanks a ton to the bar team for putting this event together. It was something special. I was so excited to see the replays from all these. And I sure hope you enjoyed as well. I will see you in the very next game of Beyond All Reason. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.